Hello, everybody. My name is CranJam. Welcome back to some more Higurashi. I decided to record late night this time because I'll be honest with you, my day has not been going very well. I tried to do a stream of XCOM 2 on Discord, and something is causing the game to crash, so I'm going to have to test all, 75 mods that I have installed for it. So that'll be fun. And, I was like, XCOM isn't working for me. Maybe Higurashi will do me good. Higurashi can't do me wrong, right? We're about to get into some really good stuff anyway, so I've been very excited to continue the playthrough. So let's just do that. Late night is like the perfect time for this too, because it really sets the vibe, if you catch my drift. We're greeting the end of the rainy season sooner than prior years. On this day, when it feels like summer will soon arrive, I'm pleased that everyone is in good health. The season for the Watanagashi is finally upon us. I believe the assistance of the town council will make this a wonderful festival. I also wish to ask for the assistance of everyone in regards to a few things. 1. Collecting bazaar goods. Villagers are welcome to put their wares on show at the well-received Hinamizawa Grand Bazaar exhibition. Anything is welcome, from uncostumed gifts to used clothing. No raw goods, please. Management, Makano tell 5X's. 2. Recruiting Lil Festival drum dancers. The renowned Lil Festival Drum Dancers Group is known for its careful choreography. The Shofu Society, Shofu, is taking last-minute participants. We're looking for any showboat elementary and middle schoolers. Management, Kimiyoshi, telephone 5X. Taking donations. We are accepting donations in the multiples of 1,000 yen. For every 1,000 yen donation, you'll be awarded a refreshment stand ticket. Management, Sonozaki, telephone 5X. We are always taking suggestions for ways to improve the festival. If you have an interesting idea, call Kimiyoshi at 5X. There is a 200 yen refreshment stand ticket attached below the cut line. It's a pretty short hint this time around. I just want to, before we get into it, we've got our own little collection of hints. How sexy. Alright, let's get into it. A few days had passed since the incident. During that time, either Mion was busy or Rika-chan had to help with the festival preparations, so we couldn't get everybody together for club activities. Even though I thought I would never want to participate again after the years shaved off my life each time, not having it only made my heart grow fonder. I am not honest with myself. Today we finally had our club activities again. These weren't the same old club activities. Let me just check out something, Oh. Okay. I thought the implication there was that he's been doing this for multiple years. I was like, what? And I just realized I misread the dialogue. It was called the Watanagashi 5 Demon Firefight, and it was one of the biggest events in the club.
Keiichi, この浴衣、まだ着れるかしら? ちょっと袖を通してみてくれる?
Mom pulled out an old dusty yukata.
いいよ、浴衣なんて。
Yukata? I feel like it's yukata.
恥ずかしいから普段着で行くよ。
でもお祭りなんだから着て行きなさいな。
レナとかは普段着でいいって言ってたぜ。浴衣なんか着てったらかえって恥さらしだよ。
I put on the same old vest as usual.
祭りにはレナたちと行くからさ。俺のことは放っておいて大丈夫。
そう？じゃあ母さんは父さんが起きたら2人で行くわね。
Dad let out a loud snore from the sofa.
あの調子じゃ、夕べも徹夜かな。
急ぎの原稿をようやく発送したとこなの。 ひょっとすると起きないかもね。
It seems my dad writes for art magazines sometimes too. I've never read it though. I wonder if my dad is really a famous artist. As his son, it's a bit strange for me to say, but I can't imagine he's selling all that well. But he's able to feed a family of 3, and my life isn't exactly full of hardships. Speak for yourself, Keiichi. Maybe he's actually a master painter, and I just never knew it. Ding dong! Uh-oh, it was already time. I didn't want them coming here, so I was planning on leaving early and waiting outside.
あらあら、レナちゃん。いつもうちのケイイチがお世話になってまして。
おばさま、こちらこそお世話になって。
Why are you blushing just from meeting my mom?
そこで真っ赤になるな。実に気まずい。行くぞ、レナ。
Since Reina would continue to space out if I left her here, I grabbed her hand and dragged her out.
レナちゃん、ケイイチをよろしくね。
はい、おばさま。ケイイチ君はレナが命に変えましても。
Then why don't you do it right now? She waved back even as I was dragging her away.
はい、ケイちゃん。今日はお腹すかしてる？露店で済ますんだからね。
部活が露天勝負と分かってて腹を無駄に膨らますと思ったかよ。
そうでなくっちゃ。
さとことリカちゃんはもう神社に行ってるのか？
うん、リカちゃんはお祭りの実行委員さんだもん。さとこちゃんもきっと一緒だよ。
そっか。よっしゃ、今日は目いっぱい騒ぐぞ。
We were already in high spirits with just the 3 of us there. It was way more lively at the Farood Shrine than the last time I came, far exceeding my expectations. Throngs of people were crammed between rows of market stalls lined with colorful paper lanterns. Despite that, it's actually quite enjoyable.
すげえ人だな。ひなみ沢ってこんなに人がいたんだ。
綿流しのお祭りはみんな来るよ。多分ひなみ沢の人の半分くらいは来てるんじゃないかな。それだけじゃないよ。近隣の町の町会や子供会も招待してる。
そうだよな。俺たちの学校あれしか生徒いないのに、今日は子供の姿がやたらたくさんある。
お祭りの賑やかさはやっぱり子供の賑やかさだからね。
That's true. I agree.
どうもこんばんは。
These two knew everybody we came across. Of course, I greeted them as well, but I still wasn't familiar with everybody yet.
あら、レナちゃん。この間はお惣菜をありがとうね。うちの子も美味しいって喜んでたわ。
いえいえ、気に入ってもらえて嬉しいです。和正くんにもよろしくお伝えくださいね。
よー、園崎のお嬢ちゃんじゃねえの。今年も屋台担いで来てやったぜ。
おっちゃん、太った？今からそんなお腹じゃ果ては心筋梗塞だね。
あ、この兄ちゃんは新顔だな。嬢ちゃんの後輩かい？
うちの部員だよ。期待のニューフェイス。侮ると一晩で屋台潰されるよ。
嬢ちゃんのお墨付きかい。そりゃお手柔らかに頼むぜ。
As you could imagine, Mion was chatting away with the old guys running the stalls.
兄ちゃんは元気いいからね。おじさんたちにすごく人気あるの。
レナも人気あると思うけどな。可愛いし。
That was, of course, so long as her little condition didn't flare up. But as long as she's blushing quietly, she's pretty cute. What are you talking about, bro? Reina is like always cute. Forgive the blatant simping. I can't help it. Higurashi girl, the let me make this clear. The like adult girls, not Rika and Satoko, are very attractive.
レナが
Ah,
誰に人気あるのかなあるのかな
誰かにだよ。
I evaded giving her a straight answer by roughly tussling her hair.
露天商は町からわざわざ来てくれるんだよ。やっぱりこういうのがないとお祭りは盛り上がらないよね。
で、それを俺たちは荒らして回るわけか。どんな勝負にせよ、俺は負けないぜ。
そうだね頑張ろう。ああ、遅いですわ皆様。レディーを待たせるとはケイチさんもなってないでございますわ。
Don't you fucking wink at me ever again.
おお、そりゃすまんな。で、その待たせたレディーってのは
I'm not gonna have
どこにいるんだ
a little fucking girl winking at me.
不安ですって。
Alright, Satoko was on top form as well. It seemed like she was all excited about being able to get everybody in the club together for the first time in a while. Oh no.
リカちゃん、かわいい。
Rana let out an elated sigh. It seemed that the real lady had made her appearance.
こんばんはですよ、みんな。ケイイチもこんばんはです。
いいねいいね。今年も決まってるじゃん。
かわいいかわいい。お持ち帰り。
Rika-chan was wearing a Shrine Maiden outfit. Yep. Reina's little outburst was completely understandable.
リカちゃんの服装は本格派だな。これって本物の巫女さんの服か？
うちのバッチャのお手製。結構本格派でしょ。
リカちゃんはお祭りの最後に大切なお仕事があるからその衣装なの。
I see. Rika-chan was on the executive committee because she performed all the Shrine Maiden rituals for the festival.
お仕事はお祭りの最後のところだけなのです。まだまだゆっくり遊べますですよ。ってことはここで時間を無駄にできないということですわ。参りましょう。
よっしゃー。
It felt good to wander around the festival with just the five of us. Mion called everyone over to a stand that caught her attention and proposed a rather odd competition.
たこ焼き早食い勝負。各自購入の上。よーいドン。
A standard in vendor stalls, the takoyaki stand. I'm just guessing what the translations did, so please. What was especially standard for these kinds of events was the fact that they were simply balls of dough, takoyaki in name only.
ケイチ君大丈夫？お水お水。ああ、そんな熱々たこ焼き丸飲みなんて自殺行為でございますわ。
作り置きの冷めたやつを購入するのがコツかな。
実に美味しくないですよ。
The stall next to it was a shaved ice stand. It was still a bit too early in the season for that, but right then it didn't matter.
今度はかき氷にしようぜ。完食早食い勝負だ。レディーゴー。
かき氷の早食いなんて無理。体温で少しでも溶かせば。冷たいですの。
甘いね。おじさんはシロップ大盛りで頼んだのさ。混ぜればすぐに溶ける。
Oh, yo, fucking ice, shaved ice with lots of syrup. Oh, Mion, please, you're already so attractive. Why you gotta bring up attractive things as well? Those stooges were too late. The moment they chose to tackle it head on was their downfall. I love the little noises the characters make. It's so funny.
ケイちゃんが早すぎる。
まさかケイチくん、後ろの金魚すくいのお水を入れたんじゃ。
Before I comment on that, I just want to say, it's kind of appropriate that I'm playing this late at night, considering Watanagashi is also late at night. But if Keiichi really did add some water from the goldfish tank, it was fucking disgusting.
実に美味しくないですよ。
Next to that was another old favorite. Yeah, I mean, bro, that shit could be contaminated too. Like, I don't know, I don't want to be drinking from dirty, fishy water. A cotton candy stand.
次はこちらにしませんこと？もちろん早食いですわ。
Of course it is.
ねえねえ、わたあめの早食いなんてどうやるんだろう。どうやるんだろう。
Yeah, how do you... On Satoko's mark, Mion, Satoko, and I all compress the cotton candy with their bare hand. This time it took to stick the whole thing in our mouths. Oh, the time it took to stick the whole thing in our mouths? 3 seconds.
サトコはともかく、ケイちゃんも気づいてたとはね。
俺をいつまでも新入部員扱いしないことだぜ。
実に美味しくないですよ。
Rika-chan had also crushed it between her hands and stuck it into her mouth.
こんなわたあめの食べ方、きっと日本中でもここだけだよ。
Okay. I think only Reina's cotton candy was happy with how it was eaten. But it felt like we'd end up doing stuff like eat noodles through the nose contest or human water pump at the goldfish scoop at the rate things were going.
それでもおじさんは勝つけどね。
白磁気勝負ではミオさんにはかないませんわね。
Very suspect line of dialogue.
ああ、まったく。
何あんたたち。次は焼きそばにブルーハワイかけて食べる勝負にしたいわけ？
Oh. Shake, shake. Both Satoko and I shook our heads in unison.
あのさ、今度はちょっと食べ物から離れたゲームにしないかな。しないかな。
Rena's proposal was a godsend. It was about time we played a different type of game. It also seemed like neither Reina nor Rika-chan were any good at speed eating or gorging themselves.
じゃあレナ、次のゲームをあんたに任せるよ。
Yeah, what a terrible thing to be bad at. I can't shove my fat face with food. Oh no.
なんでもいい。
じゃあねじゃあね。レナは審判だよ。このお祭り会場でかいいものを探してくるの。
Well, you know, I already have home field advantage. If you know what I mean.
制限時間は1分。上等ですわ。レナの好みは分かってますもの。
よし、多分あれなら勝てる。
よーい、ダン。あれ？ケイチ君とリカちゃんはなんでスタートしないんだろう。しないんだろう。
Mion and Satoko dashed off madly, but Rika-chan and I calmly stayed right where we were.
ひょっとしてもう見つけてあるの？かわいいの。もう見つけてありますです。ケイチもですね。
ああ。
なんだろうなんだろう。楽しみ。
Both Rika-chan and I stood motionless for those few moments before Mion and Satoko returned.
こういう形で直接対決するのは初めてだな。
初めてしますです。
リカちゃん、あれで勝つつもりか？
僕も部員です。勝つためなら快速第3条ですよ。
Rika-chan sneered to the best of her ability. You're on. Both Mion and Satoko came back, each with their own plan of attack stuffed in their arms.
じゃあ順番にね。1番は部長さんのみーちゃんから。
悪いけどいきなり決めさせてもらうよ。
Whoa!
これだ。
Where'd she get those? They were old diamond-shaped tin signs.
カレーに蚊取り線香、昔懐かしのブリキ看板だ。どう？
It's very understated, a little too understated, Neon. I used to see those stuck up on barbed wire fences. They were more nostalgic than cute. Can you explain what part of that is cute? But there were puffs of smoke noticeably shooting out of Reina's ears and nose, almost like a steam train. I didn't get it.
次は私が行くでございますわよ。これでございます。
It was a hand-drawn poster from the Ladies' Society roast corn stall. It was a really bad sketch done by Housework. An anthropomorphic roasted corn drawn without any sort of real plan. Its very existence invited a sense of sorrow to the viewer. A bleep? That was the sound of blood gelling out of Reina's nose. It seemed to have rated higher than Mion's. I didn't really get it. It felt like your artistic sense is a little avant-garde by about 5 eons.
所詮は量産看板。手書きには勝てませんわ。
I couldn't even begin to follow the way those guys were saying.
では次は僕が行きますですよ。
次はリカちゃんか。小道具もなしにどんな手を使うやら。
Did you and Satoko both forget? If Rika-chan felt like it, she could... Oh no. After moving back about 10 yards, she began... she began waddling up to Reina. Seeing that both Mion and Satoko gasped.
しまった。
Too late. Rika-chan tripped over nothing and lay motionless after falling down. Reina hurried over to her.
リカちゃん大丈夫かな？大丈夫かな？
Rika-chan had a lump on her forehead and tears welled up in her eyes. Only her fingers peeked out from her sleeves. This is the vital part. The palms of her hands were covered by her sleeves. She made just a single sound.
Me.
Oh no. It's over.
かわいいかわいい。お持ち帰り。
What a fucking Rika just cheating. You can't just fucking do that though.
忘れてましたですの。一番身近な手を忘れてましたわ。
Reina's face went completely red, her head bobbling back and forth with excitement. She embraced Rika-chan and began rubbing her cheek against her.
さすがだぜ。
Rika, or not Rika, Reina. Reina, I feel like would be either a really good mother or a really bad mother, depending on how you look at it.
どこまで取っても一部の隙もない。
Cause she, without a doubt, care about her kids, right? Maybe a little too much.
ちびっこミコ半波だミー完璧だ。ただの苔を萌えにまで昇華した。これぞまさに芸術と呼ぶにふさわしい。
ケイちゃんの方がわかんねえセンスしてるよ。
I'll just pretend that sharp sting of those words cutting through me like a razor is a figment of my imagination. You know? I don't know, man. That doesn't really hurt as much if it's the Sonozaki. If it's a Sonozaki saying it. Rika-chan turned her gaze to me with a daunting smile as she was caressed by Reina, who was in full cube mode.
さあケイイチ、僕に勝てますですか?
That cold smile is frightening, Rika-chan. It might just be my imagination, but I see a demon inside her sometimes. Sorry.
ケイちゃんにも何か秘策があってのことだろうけど、何を見せてくれるのかな。
私としましてもケイイチさんのお手並み拝見でございますわ。ひょっとしてケイイチも芸をしますですね。
I basked in their pointed stares. I pulled Reina, who gave no sign of canceling out her cube mode, away from Rika-chan.
はうー、かいのかいの、ケイイチくん離して。
今から俺がもっとかわいいのを見せてやるから少し我慢しろ。
もっとかいいの？
だがここはちょっとギャラリーが多い。あっちの影へ行こう。
Reina looked very surprised as I pulled her behind the shrine.
ケイイチさんの企みが見えないでございますわ。
ケイちゃんに限って、いやまさか。
Uh-oh. Oh no.
ファイト、王です。
After a bit, I returned. And in a bit after that, so did Reina, dragging her feet.
まさかケイちゃんのやつ、ねんねのレナに変なことしたんじゃ。
Mion and Satoko passed by me, heading straight to Reina.
変なことって一体何でございますの？
For a moment, Reina was too dazed to realize someone was talking to her.
なんだ、みーちゃんか。
レナ、大丈夫？ケイちゃんに変なことされなかった？
レナ、変なことはされなかったよ。かなりの重傷ですわ。ケイイチさんは一体何を見せましたの？とっても可愛かったよ。
かわいい？レナ、あんた何を見せられたの？
Reina let out a really long howl. Her eyes sparkled as she spoke.
可愛かったよ。ケイイチくんのオットセイ。
Wamp, whoomp. So upset. In a blink of an eye, Mion and Satoko's elbow smashed into my face.
レナに汚ねえもん見せやがって。
この大関助ごまじ重複して差し上げますでございます。
違う誤解だ。
A dark billowing aura flowed from Mion and Satoko. It was no good. They're gonna kill me.
みーちゃん、なんだかわかんないけど誤解だよ。ケイイチくんはオットセイさんのキーホルダーですよ。
See, I don't know why. I mean, it's a funny joke, right? You know, obviously, we all know what they were thinking, but I don't think I've ever heard somebody's area described as, quote, a little seal. Especially not little. I don't think I would ever... If I was ever going to show a girl, you know what, I don't think I would just ever describe it as little. For the record, I thought that he was just going to... point at Reina and be like, I found a cute thing. That's what I would have done. Because it would have been funny. Rika-chan stuck her head into my pocket and pulled out a keychain. So, oh, hand into my... Not her whole fucking head.
昔夏休みの宿題で作ったと言ってますです。恥ずかしいのでめったに人に見せないとも言ってますですよ。
Where's the S? Where's the S on others? Anyway.
ちっちゃくて可愛くて精一杯頑張ったって感じがとっても素敵だったよ。
なんだ、てっきりおじさんはケイちゃんのあははは。
Yo, get used to the Sonozaki laugh trademark. Not my trademark, but you know, it's because methinks you'll be hearing that a lot.
さすがミオさんですわ。
Got a bottle of water next to me, so that's what that large gulping sound was.
間違える方向もワイルドですこと。
They slung insults at each other and looked like they were ready to tear into each other in a second. I beg of you, if I'm in the clear, would you mind getting off of me? We were interrupted by the flash of a camera. Oh, not again.
やあみんな、相変わらず元気そうだね。
It was Tomitaka-san. As I lay crumpled on the ground, Mion and Satoko continued to bicker above me. Rika-chan was patting me on the head, and Reina was still in cute mode. It was probably quite a lively scene.
こんばんはではございますが、レディーに断りもなくお写真を撮るのはエチケット違反でございますことよ。
そうだな。少なくともサトコの許可は必要ない。
Satoko dug her heel into me.
こんばんは。明日帰られちゃうんですよね。素敵な写真はいっぱい撮れましたか？
おかげさまでね。いい絵がたくさん撮れたよ。
富武のおじさまに会えるのも今晩限りなのね。お名残惜しいですわ。いい加減とっととメジャーデビューしてくださいよね。
相変わらず口が悪いな。その毒舌もまた半年聞けないかと思うと残念だよ。
せいぜい今夜を楽しんでらしてくださいな。明日の夜にはもう東京なんですからね。
そうだね。星が見える夜空なんてまた半年お預けだもんね。
Tomitaka-san looked up at the night sky cheerfully. At that moment, even though he was smiling, I sensed a bit of sadness.
富武さん、いっそ住めばいいじゃないですか。南沢。
Tomitaka-san was speechless.
確かに不便なとこです。店もないし、娯楽もないし、何もないかもしれないけど。
Everyone knew what I was trying to say. Tomitaka-san was also well aware. So Reina, Mion, Satoko, and Rika-chan, none of them buttoned in.
俺はまだここに引っ越してきて一月も経たないからよくわからないけど。
Normally I'm a really talkative guy, but in situations like this, I'm at a loss for words. Even though all this was happening in such a boisterous setting, it felt like all the background noise was fading into the distance.
ここにはきっと。
Tomitaka-san rested his hand on me gently, silencing me.
ありがとな。
Right. Rested his hand on me gently. Okay.
ケイイチ君、ミオンちゃんにレナちゃん、サトコちゃんにリカちゃん。
Tomitaka-san's smile was so slight it looked as if it was going to crumble in any minute, but it was warm.
僕もここに住めたらきっと楽しいだろうなって思うよ。
Those might have been cruel words coming from a kid who didn't need to worry about working to feed himself. A hand touched my back. It was Reina.
ケ 圭一君、大人をいじめちゃかわいそうだよ。
The background clamor of the festival returned.
またしばらくのお別れなんですからね。今夜は富武さんにもたくさん楽しんでもらわなくっちゃ。
When Reina smiled, the mood instantly got brighter.
そうだね。ぜひそうさせてもらうよ。
あ、ねえねえみーちゃん、どうだろう。富武さんを部活に入部させてあげるのは。
I just realized the size difference between Tomitake and Reina. Holy shit, this dude's buff. Oh my god. That's a great idea. Or so I saw it, but Mion had a snobbish look on her face.
入部条件の一つにひなみ沢在住ってのがあるんだけどね。
そんなみーちゃん、今日くらい意地悪しなくても。
ま、コツコツ毎年来てるからね。名誉市民と認定してあげよう。
やったー。さてさて、こんな旬を過ぎたご老体にこの私の相手が務まるんでございましょうかしら。老快な大人の知恵を見せてもらいましょうです。
へへ、俺たちの若さについてこられるかな。
Tomitake-san stepped back slightly at her audacious grins.
部長、園崎美音の名において名誉市民富武氏の我が部への入部を許可する。
Her words were quickly drowned out by our cheers.
なんだいその部活ってのは。
我が部はだな、複雑化する社会に対応するため活動ごとに提案されるさまざまな条件か、時には準教、あるいは逆境からいかにして。
レナは弱いからいじめないでほしいな。仲良くやろうね。子供のごっこ遊びと侮るつもりなら好都合でございますわ。
身ぐるみ剥いで地獄の底に叩き落としてやるぜ。
Wow.
つまりみんなでゲームして遊ぶ部活です。
Of course, Rico was the only one to give an answer that made sense.
よーし、望むところだよ。その挑戦を受けて立とうじゃないか。
Always wanted to play a game with kids.
お手柔らかに頼むよ、先輩方。
Tomitake-san got riled up and did a victory pose like he was 10 years younger. That's perfect. Fantastic, even. We continued walking through the festival with Mion in the front. Now we looked like a family of 6. It had some intensity to it.
ルールはいつも通り。ビリにはもちろんお約束の罰ゲーム。
Tomitake-san was a bit surprised, but to us it was just the same as always. Regardless of how terrible a penalty it was,
負けなきゃいいんだからね。
Reina was also brimming with determination. Yeah, just don't lose, scrub. She didn't make any intention. She didn't have any intention of losing.
そうだな。
I tussled Reina's hair to lighten the mood. She giggled to hide her embarrassment.
なるほど。これが同心ってやつなんだな。
Tomitake-san whispered that to nobody in particular. That moment, we heard an old man call out in a strong voice. Looking over, I realized it was the man Mion had greeted right before the festival.
来たかい。園崎の嬢ちゃん、今年は大人数みたいじゃねえの。
あんたの店、根こそぎかっさらいに来たよ。
His stall was a shooting gallery. It was the usual setup where you had to knock down the prize you wanted with a cork gun.
ルールは簡単。3発撃って得られた景品のデカさで勝負しよう。
Everyone shouted their agreement. There was no need to consider how to win, since the condition for victory was simply size. The biggest prize at the stall, it went without question. It was that one, wasn't it?
は クマさん、かわいいよ。
Reina was gazing longingly at a large stuffed animal. It was intentionally placed on an unsteady platform, so it was possible to get it if you hit it in the right spot.
と一瞬思わせる絶妙な配置が見事だな。
さすがケイチさん、一発でカンパすると思いましたわ。
ここは無難にキャラメルや人形を狙うのが定石のようだね。
The intent analysis has already begun. In this club, you'll get eaten alive if you don't come prepared. Everything hinges on what plan you can come up with before the main event. At some point, a large crowd had gathered around us, making a big fuss. There is this much of a following for our club's infamous event?
クマさんを落とせれば勝利は確定しますですね。
3発しかないんだぜ。それを確かめるために使うには重いな。
It's not more than enough to kill anything that moves. It's exactly enough to kill anything that moves. Not as much of a nice ring to it.
Hey, hey. 他のお客さんも待ってるんだぜ。最初のチャレンジャーは誰からだい？
先に挑戦した方が楽な景品を狙えて有利かもしれないけど、鉄砲の癖が見えないうちの挑戦は危険だね。
Tomataka-san's take on the situation was pretty good. He gets what our club is about.
じゃあさ、公平にじゃんけんで決めるのはどうかな？どうかな？
I can't believe I'm thinking like, what would the other members of Hinamizawa, what would they think? You know, what would they say? Would they have a different opinion? It just goes to show that this game, it goes to show how entertained I am by this whole sequence, that I care about such a menial detail.
結局それしかないかね。
After a couple of matches, it ended up with Mion being first.
一番は避けたかったんだけど、ま、ハンデってことにしとくかな。おっちゃん、10。
それよ。
When the shooting range guy handed her a rifle, Mion looked at it. Mion looked it over intently. Sorry. She didn't forget to check the cork bullet either.
オッケー。この銃はおろしたてだね。癖はなし。悪くない。
Mion raised the gun in one swift motion. It was completely different from her careful inspection. She was shooting from the hip. Fire. Reload. Fire. Reload. Fire. Flop. 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 3 candy boxes fell, one after the other. A big haul. The crowd paused in a moment of awe and then erupted in cheers. Tomataka-san was at a loss for words after seeing such shooting prowess. Her accuracy was incredible. Her choice of targets wasn't bad either. The 3 Maon had gone after were fairly large and pretty easy to knock over. They were all targets with a very high return on investment.
2番手は誰？さとこ？気をつけて。弾が軽い。
Next was Satoko. The rifle looked a bit big for her lithe body, but it didn't seem like she had any problem with the weight. Getting cocky, are we? She proclaimed that she was going after the teddy bear. Damn, Satoko, such a bold move. Satoko was the opposite of Mion. She aimed at the target quite carefully and squeezed the trigger.
弾が軽いですわ。
The first two bullets struck the bear in the torso, but only shifted a bit. You need to aim higher towards the head or it won't work. Setoko's third bullet wasn't aimed at the bear, but at the candy box below its arm.
残念でございますけれど、私にクマは2が勝ちすぎているみたいですわね。
She went boldly after the big catch, but since she switched over to less impressive prey at the last second, the crowd only gave a strange laugh. Were they laughing because she lacked courage? These fools know nothing!
さとこ、いい仕事をするじゃん。腕を上げたね。
The palm of Mion's outstretched hand went pump as he tapped down lightly on Setoko. She appeared to just be talking hot air, but this was actually completely calculated. Damn that Setoko! Just to avoid being in last place, she dared to switch over to an easy target. Excuse me. Without shame or honor. Magnificent.
クマはレナさんに譲るでございますわ。健闘をお祈りしましたよ。うんうん。ありがとね、さとこちゃん。クマさんかわいいよ。
Reina was up next. She couldn't hit the broadside of a barn as regularly, but she said that bear was cute.
レナちゃんはどうだろうね。一つくらい当たるといいんだけれど。
富武さんはちょっとレナを甘く見てますね。
It's Reina, you know. It's Reina Ryugu, you know. If it was to get that teddy bear. Tomitaka-san wheeled around to see what all the commotion the spectators were making about. If it was to get that bear, she'd be able to shoot through a pinhole. The one known as Reina Ryugu could do it. Oh no. Reina couldn't hide her excitement over the bear slow rocking. Now Reina couldn't lose.
さすがレナさんですわ。冷静を失えば失うほどに
強い。
Another big cheer. Reina's bullet hit the bear's forehead again. Not enough. The bear seemed to wobble more than before.
でも無理かもしれませんですね。
いや、わからないよ。レナちゃんの腕だったらひょっとすると。
While Tomitaka-san was just as excited as the crowd, Rika-chan's analysis was not swayed by emotion. If Reina had 10 more shots, then she could surely knock it over. But with just one more, no matter how you looked at it, no go. The crowd let out a dejected groan. She had shot it right in the forehead 3 times. It was a bit late, but they gave her a good round of applause for the attempt. Oh no. Yeah, she might just fucking rip it out. She could be praised for her valor, but she had no trophies to show for it. Then, at that moment, the old man flicked one of the candy boxes with his finger. That's nice.
こいつはジョーちゃんのだぜ。
くれるの？
Oh, that's...
レナに？
あんなすげえの見せられて手ぶらで返しちゃお天道様に申し訳が立たねえぜ。
You know, no other... I feel like in real life that just wouldn't happen. Because, as Satoko mentioned, this is a scam. But this dude cool though. There was another shower of applause. Reina turned bright red and I pulled her back over to us by her hand.
頑張ったじゃないかよ。かわいいモードのレナにゃ驚かされるぜ。
惜しかったよ、クマさん。
It was easy to see that it only needed a little more to be knocked over. Reina had done quite a lot for me. I still needed to pay her back for that delicious picnic.
よっしゃ、そんなら俺が。
僕が取ったらプレゼントするよ。
Oh shit. What? Tomitaka-san had stolen the words right out of my mouth.
うんうん。お願いね、富武さん。頑張れ。
Damn you, old man Tomitaka. Stealing the good parts for yourself. A small hand stretched over and gently fell on my head just before I was overcome with frustration. Yep.
ケイイチもファイト応援ですよ。
Thanks, Rika. Always making you feel good after you fail miserably. Good old Rika-chan. Tomitaka-san carefully studied the bear. Setting his sights, he shouldered the rifle while holding the other two shots in his hand.
どういうことだ？
うん、間違いない。富武のおっさんの狙いは。
The time between shots was short. It was meaningless to shoot again once it had stopped shaking. So Tomitaka-san was relying on the rapid fire to win the battle. It was visibly wobbling much more than it ever had before. But that was all. It still didn't fall over.
残念だった。
All of Reina's momentary expectation from watching him sway violently turned into a dejected sigh.
結構いけると思ったんだけどな。
男だとキャラメルはもらえないようでございますわね。
That was it. It meant Tomitaka-san had no spoils of war.
つまり、ケイちゃんとリカちゃんは手堅く楽なものを撃ち落とせばビリ回避ってわけだね。
ビリ回
Excuse
避
me.
か。あ、すみませんね。
今度はケイチ君の番だよ。検討。
I was the fifth shooter. I took the rifle from Tomitaka-san. If I took the ruthless route, as Mion had suggested, then I'd go for something insignificant. Except, when I picked up the rifle, I definitely got a feeling from it. It was burning passion, passed down to me by Tomitaka-san. The regret of not being man enough to fell the bear that Reina wanted. Yes, that's right. If I didn't aim for the bear, then I wouldn't be a man.
約束しちまったからな、レナに。
約束ってなんだろうなんだろう。
あのクマを撃ち落としてレナにプレゼントするって。
それって。
The crowd went wild when they saw our conversation. That's not it, fireman crowd. If I didn't do this, then Reina might mug the old man running the stall on his way home. No, that's not it. That's not it at all. Why can't I just express my honest feelings?
ケイチさんも男を見せますのね。
Straight up, fucking Reina is going to get that bear if she has to, like, even if she loses this game, she'll win the game later on when she, you know, goes to the old man's house and does her thing.
でも実際どうやってクマを落とす気ですの？レナや富武の弾で幾分傾きはしましたですが、難しいと思いますです。
So they mentioned that the shots were light. And in that case, I wonder if it's light enough so that you could theoretically bounce it off the wall and have it bounce back on the bear. Because I feel like you'd have a much better chance of doing it that way. If that was something you could do, probably not. Because, like, everybody's been shooting it from the front. And interestingly enough, I think that the bear is set up in such a way that the only real easy way that you could shoot it is shooting it from the back, and of course you can't shoot it from the back. Not conventionally, anyway.
ケイチ君。
もっと素早い連射力があれば一撃ごとの揺れにパワーを上乗せできるのに。
頑張ってケイチ君。
After taking 2 deep breaths, I shouted over to the guy.
鉄砲もう2丁貸してくれ。
Huh? The crowd murmured amongst themselves.
圭一さんは何を企んでいるのでしょう。一人じゃ三条は使えないですかよ。
読めたよ。ケイちゃんも考えたじゃん。
I see. One just fucking giant hit. Interesting. Mion was able to figure it out magnificently.
つまり一番時間がかかってるのがこのコルク玉の装填なんだよ。
そうだよね。じゃあ先に玉を詰めた鉄砲を3つ並べておけば。
Tomitaka-san went silent, peering at me and the bear through his lens. His photographer's blood predicted a miracle will occur. Yeah, he knows. And then the crowd finally picked up on what I was planning. They let out a great cheer. They chanted my name, Keiichi. Rapid fire is the key. If I miss, all is for naught. Whew. After letting out a deep breath, I paused. Relax. Now! That moment. It felt like time itself had stopped. I felt like I could see the trajectory of the bullets. Hit it, and knock it down. The first shot hit the bear on the head. The second, the third, the bear swayed hard. And then... Yeah! The cheers began before the stuffed animal even finished falling off the shelf. The guy caught it before it hit the ground and tossed it over to me.
まさか本当に落としやがるとはな。
Fuck yeah. That was awesome.
乾杯だぜ。
すごいや。おめでとう、ケイチ君。
圭一さんも頭を使えるようになりましたわね。少しは見直しましたですな。
俺一人で落としたわけじゃないぜ。みんなで当てて少しずつずらして落としたんだ。こいつは俺たち全員の戦果だぜ。
そうそう、全員の力の結晶だね。
ミーは一発も当ててませんです。
After holding up the teddy bear like it was a championship trophy, I handed it over to Reina. Damn. Oh man. Rika will not let anybody take false glory.
そうだ、こいつは俺から、いや、みんなからだな。いつもうまい弁当ありがとな。
Reina, thinking she was never actually going to get it, was momentarily speechless.
ダメだよ、圭一君。だってこれはみんなの。
No, no, no. Just take the bear.
落としたのは俺。だからこれは俺のだからレナにやる。
I pushed the stuffed animal towards her again. This time she embraced and accepted it.
俺が引っ越してきてからいろいろ面倒を見てくれたよな。すげえ感謝してるんだぜ。ありがとな。
Reina dove at me. Mion told me a few days later that Reina kissed me, but I didn't realize it. Mion told me a few days later that Reina kissed me, but I didn't realize it during all the excitement at the time. I remembered what I was trying to say to Tomitaka-san earlier. There really isn't much of anything here, but there are lots of things you can't find anywhere else. I gained a lot from coming to Hinamizawa, especially at that moment. The crowd's cheers echoed on and on. From the altar set up in front of the shrine, the drums sounded with a booming echo. It was the finale of the festival.
じゃあ、僕はお先に行くですよ。
おっと、僕も早く行っていいポジションを確保しないとな。じゃあみんな、後ほど。
Both Rika and Tomitaka-san gave their farewells and disappeared into the crowd.
二人とも ございますよ。ささ参りましょうでございます。
うん。リカちゃんのあで姿を見に行きますかね。行こう。
ああ、あれレナは何やってんだよ。
ケイチくん、みーちゃん、助けて。
Since she was carrying such a ridiculously large stuffed animal, she was being carried by the flow of people.
何やってんだあいつ。熊の世話で手一杯なんだな。
じゃあケイちゃんにはレナの世話を頼むかね。
So I'll leave Reina in your care. You can tell it's late at night.
私はサトコの世話で忙しいし。
誰がミオンさんの世話になるでございますの。痛い、手引っ張らないでくださいまし。
Before losing sight of Mion, I grabbed the back of Reina's collar.
ケイチくん、そこ違う、掴むとこ違う。
注文のうるさいやつだな。どこならいいんだ。
Jeez. I didn't feel ashamed at all. Reina was ashamed enough for the both of us. I grabbed onto Reina's hand and dashed after Mion and the others.
置いてかれる。早く行こうぜ。
I didn't realize Reina's hand was so delicate. Maybe she needed a bit more exercise and nutrition? And that wasn't what I meant. Not at all. My ears burned. I tried to keep calm. I repeated the phrase, "Keep it together, Keiji Maibara Keiji," in my mind, but it didn't look like I would be able to anytime soon. I really didn't want Reina to see my face right then, so I pushed onwards, dragging her along without looking back even once. There was already a huge group of people gathered at the altar in front of the shrine. The fire at the altar made it as bright as midday and just as hot. There was a pile of futons warded with sanctified rope in front of the altar. Come to think of it, they did say there was a festival where they did something with cotton and futons.
ケイチさん、レナさん、こちらでございますのよ。
Satoko waved her hand in front of the row.
すまんすまん。
waved her hand from the front row. Making our way through the mass of people, we reached the spot they'd saved.
どう？ちょっとはレナとドキドキできた？
やっぱりてめえ、そういうつもりだったのか。
Instead of replying, Mion gave us a perverse grin.
レナはどうだった？ケイちゃんの手って意外に大きいとか思わなかった？
Alright, bro. Reina turned bright red, puffs of steam shooting out of her. I heard something slice through the air and turned around to see Mion on the ground with a welt on her face.
ミオン、お前いつ食らったんだ？
Yeah, what the
ハウのハとウの間くらいだったかな。
レナ、照れ隠しに友達を殴るのは良くないぞ。
レナ、殴ってないよ。知らないもん。
Huh? Thump. The thunderous beat of the drum echoed, silencing the crowd.
お静かになさいませ。始まりですわ。
It was a solemn ritual. Rika-chan entered dressed as a shrine maiden, followed by the members of the municipal committee. The elders all looked at Rika-chan and clasped their hands in praise. The only thing allowed to disturb the profound silence was the flash from Tomitaka-san's camera.
リカちゃんが持ってるあのでかいのはなんだ？
祭事用のクワだよ。巫女さんしか触っちゃいけない神聖な農具なの。
It was an awkward shape for a piece of farm equipment, not uncommon for something used in rituals. After reciting a Shinto prayer, Rika-chan approached the pile of futons gathered at the altar. She swung the hoe skillfully, plowing it into the futons. Each and every little movement of this performance probably had to be done in a certain way. Without a doubt, this was a
今度は
ritual.
なんだ？布団叩きかな？
あれはね、人間に代わって冬の病魔を吸い取ってくれたお布団を清めてるの。
ケイちゃんのお布団叩きって表現もまあ外れじゃないかね。
Rika-chan's face was already dripping with sweat. That hoe was probably really heavy. She staggered side to side with the momentum of each swing. Satoko looked on, silently lending her support.
心配か？
リカは毎日お餅つきの杵で練習してましたですの。きっとやりきるでございますわ。
Satoko's hands were sweaty, and whenever Rika-chan started to sway a little, she held her breath.
ミオンとかは巫女役立候補しなかったのかよ。リカちゃんにあの重さは気の毒だよ。
そりゃ頼まれりゃやるけどね。まあ誰にでも務まるものでもないし。
そうだよな。ミコは清らかじゃないとダメだもんな。
Yeah, you kinda deserve that one. Mion drove her elbow into my side. With the thud of the big drum, Rika-chan gave a solemn bow and descended from the altar. That triggered a round of generous applause. After the Shinto priest had raised up the cleansed futons like a horrible altar, all the spectators stood up. Following after the priests, we all marched on at a moderate pace. They descended the shrine's giant stairs in a line.
今度は何が始まるんだ？布団を川で洗濯か？
だから綿流しだってば。
The procession. I think it's the first time I've ever seen the word procession. Continued right up to the bank of the stream. A fire was stoked high, and it was bright as day here too. People started crowding around it and clamoring.
はい、順番。並ぶよ、ケイチ君。
I wonder what was up. Maybe we get some holy wine? Red and white bean buns?
食べ物じゃないよ。だから綿。
But of course, they didn't call it the Watanagashi for nothing. I finally understood. The municipal committee members pulled out the cotton from inside the futons and balled it up like maki, handing it out to people. Mochi, I don't know. Rena drove into the line and brought out some for me as well. We then proceeded to the bank of the stream.
ケイチ君は初めてだから、レナのやり方を真似するんだよ。
She held the cotton in her right hand, waving her hand as if to purify it. She touched it to her forehead, chest, navel, and both thighs.
これを3回繰り返すの。心の中ではありがとうって唱えるんだよ。
お社様ってなんだよ？あの神社の神様の名前か？
うん、南沢の守り神様なの。ご利益もあるけど、たたりもあるんだからね。ちゃんと敬わないとダメだよ。
That sounded like a pretty frightening god. But, well, when you're grown. I was officially a resident of Hinamizawa now, after all. Doing as Reina showed me, I touched the cotton over myself 3 times. Thank you, Oyashiro-sama. Thank you, Oyashiro-sama. Oyashiro-sama.
これでね、体についてた悪いのがこの綿に吸い取られたの。で、あとは沢の流れにそっと流してね。おしまい。
Together, Reina and I set our pieces of cotton afloat on the surface of the water. The flowers of cotton blooming in the water had sucked out all the bad illness from Hinamizawa and drifted off, disappearing into the distance. It was wonderful, like those floating lantern festivals I'd seen on TV. The best part, though, was feeling like this rite of passage had made me a true resident of Hinamizawa. Ooh.
誰かを傷つけたいなんて考えもしなかった。それでも不安は孤独を生んで疑念へと変わり、やがて黒い殺意が心を闇に閉ざしていった。戻らない日常。少年は足を踏み出す。その先が奈落の底だとも気づかずに。鬼隠し。信じたいと思う気持ちが生んだ悲劇。流した涙は懺悔か、それとも怨恨か。
What the fuck was that? What? Sorry, that caught me off guard. I think I'm gonna have to look over that again in the recording because I don't really know what to think. Does that show up in the log? It does. Oh wait, no. Sorry, no, it doesn't. Anyway, while staring off into the stream, I somehow got separated from Reina. Excuse me. I wasn't very lonely though. I know this place now. This is where I live. My home. It's probably better if I just stayed here instead of wandering around aimlessly. Someone would surely find me while I was enjoying the evening breeze. I heard a familiar voice. It was Tomitake-san's. I headed towards it.
どうですか、富武さん。いい写真はいっぱい撮れましたか？
ああ、おかげさまでね。
Tomitake-san was with a girl. I felt a little like I was intruding.
圭一君はどうだったかしら？お祭りは楽しめた？
From the way she spoke, it seemed like she was a resident of Hinamizawa. I should really try harder to remember people's faces here. What was her name?
その楽しかったです。
My face must have given away how desperately I was trying to remember her name, because she gave a lighthearted chuckle.
圭一君はまだ引っ越してきて日が浅いんだそうだね。他の子たちととても親しげだったから、とてもそうは思えなかったよ。
If that's how it looked, it was probably all thanks to Reina and Neon.
あなたも今日のお祭りに参加して自分がひなみ沢の人間になれたんだって
どうなんでしょうね。
Yeah, I wonder about that too, Casey.
おや、圭一君らしくない返事だね。
I had tried to get used to Hinamizawa, but there were still plenty of things I didn't know. Faces of people I'd met, for example. Things that had happened in the past as well.
なんだ、その程度のことで君は疎遠に感じていたのかい？
疎遠なんて大げさなもんじゃないですよ。ただなんていうのか。
That incident at the dam construction site. The fighting over it and the other conflicts. That terrible incident they pretended they didn't even know about whenever I brought it up. Even though it was in the past. I mean, as somebody living in Hinamizawa, it wasn't wrong to want to know about both the good and bad that happened here.
それを知ることで君が納得するなら、僕の知っている範囲で何でも教えるよ。
Tomitake-san's smile made me more relieved than I'd ever been. It was hard to think of what to ask when someone said, "Ask me anything," though. I gotta say, Blondie here is creeping me out. I'm not going to reveal her name just yet. Totally not because I have forgotten her name, but because of the story. Even when there was so much I wanted to ask.
じゃあダム工事について聞かせてください。ひなみ沢が水没するとかいう大事件だったんですよね。
ダムについては多分ここの人に聞いた方が詳しいと思うけどな。ま、僕が知っている範囲でいいんなら。新聞で読んだ程度だけどね。
Tomitake-san's eyes entered an unfocused gaze as he searched through his memory. Then he spoke.
ダムの計画が決まったのは7、8年くらい前なんだ。黒部に次ぐ巨大な計画だったと聞いてるね。
There were three major issues in Japan at that time: improving inter-island transportation infrastructure, meeting the higher demand for electricity, and flood control. There was a boom of dam building due to the massive economic stimulus they provided on top of generating electricity and flood control. Hinamizawa had the right conditions to support the dam construction, so it was singled out.
ダムの完成に伴って生まれるダム湖はかなりの面積になったらしいね。この日波沢からずーっと上流の矢郷地あたりまでが全部沈むことになったらしい。
しかしなんだって人が住んでる日波沢にわざわざダムを作るんすか？もっと他の人が住んでないところに作ればいいのに。
よくは知らないんだが、ダムを作るのに適した地形ってのがあったって聞いてるね。
Of course, there were protests here in Hinamizawa. Rika-chan had said that they had fought. From that choice of words, I had to guess that things had turned violent.
裁判にもなったし、議会でも取り上げられたんだ。東京の新聞にも載ったよ。
Mion had told me all about that as well. I'm sure every resident of Hinamizawa had united to fight together. Feeling of solidarity found here, which could not be expressed properly with mere words, was likely brought about by that battle.
で、いろいろな不祥事や汚職が発覚してね、ややこしいことになっているうちに工事中止が決まったんだそうだよ。
If I wanted to know, now is my only chance to ask. It was certainly a bizarre incident that boys my age would be curious about. I felt a little shame from the fact that I was petty enough to have my curiosity piqued by Reina and Mion's refusal to talk about the event. But I figured I might as well ask since I had the chance. Just so I would stop thinking about it so much.
バラバラ殺人ってありましたよね。
あったよ。偶然その時期に日波沢にいてね。だからよく覚えてるよ。
Tomitaka-san's answer was nonchalant in contrast to my hesitantly forced out question.
ちょうど4年前の今頃だったかな。あれも確か綿流しの日だったね。
Debate on whether to continue construction of the dam was in disarray. Scandal after scandal rocked the project near the end. The incident that was the final nail in the coffin for the project. A fight at the dam construction site ended in the victim being murdered. Fearing prosecution, the 6 assailants divided the remains into 6 pieces and hid each one. 5 of the 6 criminals turned themselves in out of guilt, but one was still on the run. The right arm he had hidden had yet to be found. The major details lined up with what was in the tabloid I read earlier. It was certainly a tragic incident. It wasn't so terrible that Reina and Mion needed to hide it from me. I mean, a dude got fucking dismembered. I don't know about you, but that's pretty reasonable to not discuss on your first trip to a new place. Imagine you go into a hotel and it's just like, yeah, somebody fucking died here. Not only did they die, it turns out you've actually checked into the murder hotel, so half the rooms here are actually set up to be death traps. So, yeah, have fun. I guess they didn't want someone who just moved in here to have a negative impression of Hinamizawa. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I felt grateful for having friends who worried so much about me, as well as shame for still being so interested in it.
当時はダムのトラブルの末期だったからね。
I mean, it's classic Streisand effect. In case you don't know what that means, it's basically the more you try to hide something, the more people want to know about it, and it basically spreads because you were trying to hide it. I wouldn't say you're a bad person for wanting to know more about this, because you're not like hounding Reina and Mion. I don't know. Anyway.
お社様のたたりだって言ってずいぶん騒がれたんだよ。
お社様のたたりか。
Oyashiro-sama was the name of the god at the shrine that held the festival today, if I recall correctly. I see. Their guardian deity rained divine punishment down on the evil dam construction for trying to flood Hinamizawa. That's some nasty stuff. Duh.
若い人たちはそうは思わなかったみたいだけれど
Just seeing gigantic woman. Can we get a... Oh, you can actually... I didn't know you could do that. I was saying if you could just like get a... Actually, I could just load up a picture of this later. Anyway.
お年寄りたちはお社様のたたりだと疑わなかったみたいね
You take way too much pleasure in talking about this, man. The woman with Tomitaka-san chuckled mischievously. Tomitaka-san began laughing with her. It was so infectious, I ended up laughing as well.
でも今ではどうかしらね結構いるんじゃないかしら若い人にも
いるって何がですか
信じてる人だよ。お社様のたたり。
The woman's lips were still curled into a smile, but her expression turned stern.
その後ね、毎年起こるんだよ。決まって今頃にね。
怒るって何が
Tomitaka-san paused for a second as if to build up some suspense, and he whispered to me as if someone might have been listening.
毎年綿流しの日になるとね、誰かが死ぬんだよ。
Oh no!
バラバラ殺人の翌年の綿流しの日、木南沢の住人でありながらダムの誘致派だった男が旅行先で崖下の濁流に転落して死亡した。奥さんに至っては死体も上がってない。
南沢の人間でありながらダムに賛成していた男ですからね事故当時お年寄りたちはお社様のたたりだとささやき合ったものよ
The woman chuckled mischievously again.
さらに翌年、綿流しの晩、今度は神社の神主が原因不明で急死した。奥さんはその晩のうちに沼に受水自殺した。
神社の神主って今日のこの神社の神主ですか
The woman nodded.
村人たちはお社様のお怒りを鎮めきれなかったんだって噂したわね
さらに翌年、これもまた綿流しの晩、今度は近所の主婦が撲殺体で発見された。
Housewife? Up until now, all these mysterious deaths were with people involved with the dam or who had connections with Oyashiro-sama. Yeah, but I mean, but they were all like husband and wives. I mean, I think so anyway. Yeah. Yeah. So like, his wife. Yeah, there's a common trend here. So just because they're not related to the dam necessarily, it seems like somebody really just doesn't like husbands and wives. With that in mind, could the housewife be involved in some way too?
その通りよ
The woman stated slyly. No, it was more menacing.
被害者の一家はねその2年前に転落死したダム誘致派の男の弟一家に当たるのよ
弟本人はまだ生きてるらしいね。でもやはりかなり気にしてね。近隣の町に引っ越してったらしいよ。
For a while, I stood there with my mouth agape. The battle of the dam construction with Hinamizawa's future at stake, and the murder at the center of it all. That was all I knew, and that's all I wanted to ask about. That wasn't all there was to the story. Homicide, body disposal, accidental deaths, terminal illness, suicide, fatal beatings. I'm a pretty level-headed person. I don't really want to believe in curses, but the freakish deaths happened every year on the day of the Watanagashi, and all of them were related to the dam construction. It was easy to dismiss each of them as coincidences by themselves, but when you put them all together, dismissing all of them as coincidence would then defy logic. I don't believe in curses, but every single year on the day of the Watanagashi, someone or something makes it happen without fail. The woman chuckled again, as if she picked up on what I was thinking. It felt like she was saying, maybe there was. Maybe we frightened him. Stuff like that. I felt embarrassed at being read so easily. I pressed Tomitake-san to continue, a bit of impatience and irritation in my tone.
で、その翌年の綿流しの晩にも、今度は誰です？
さてね、圭一君は誰だと思うかな？
あ？
The way he said it didn't agree with me. The sarcastic tone ticked me
は
off.
ぐらかさないでくださいよ。俺は結構真剣に。
まあまあ圭一君、落ち着いて。
I realized when she tried to calm me down that I had been panicking.
別にはぐらかしたつもりはないんだよ、圭一君。
Sharp as ever, Keiichi-kun.
つまり、その翌年の綿流しってのは、つまり。
Yeah, it's this year, buddy.
今日よ。
Dun dun. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. When Tomitake-san hesitated to say it, she finished for him. I broke into cold sweat. I really didn't like the direction that this was headed.
みんな口にしないけど、今夜また何か起こるんじゃないかって思ってる。
こんなにお祭りで賑わってるのに？
あのね、去年の被害者の主婦は不審人者だったらしくてね。Watanagashiのお祭りに参加しなかったらしいの。
今年のWatanagashiに参加しないと、お社様の怒りに触れるかもしれないって噂。
You know, it seems like breathing funny incites Oyashiro-sama's wrath.
圭一君なら聞いてるんじゃないかい？
I never even heard a whisper of that rumor.
じゃあ、みんなのお祭りの参加はたたりを恐れて？
そうなんじゃないかと思うね。今年のWatanagashiは例年になく参加者が多いよ。
やっぱりみんな怖いんでしょうね。お社様のたたり。
It feels like I have stepped into another universe. Like, holy shit. Oh my god. I couldn't utter a single word. In this modern age, where we made progress in all scientific fields, shedding light on the unknown and misunderstood, the black and white television has been eradicated and we sent men to the moon. Even with all our accomplishments, this can exist in modern society.
桜ってことで近隣の町の子供会をかなり招待したらしいけど、やっぱり一連の事件を受けてあんまり参加はなかったみたいね。人集めに苦労してるって町会の人がぼやいてたもの。
警察もね、過去の事件は全て別個のもので関連性はないとしてるみたいだけどね。警備ってことで私服警官をだいぶ立たせてたみたいだよ。
It finally began to dawn on me why Reina and Myeon were reluctant to talk. If nothing happened during this Watanagashi, everything would have been over with and I'd be none the wiser. If nothing happened, all would be well. In that case, it would all end up being just crazy talk. I should have just pretended like I knew nothing from the beginning. Then they wouldn't have to act like nothing happened. And we would all have gotten back to life as usual.
やっぱり刺激が強すぎたかしら。
Keiichi, the guy who knows too much. The woman ran her fingers through her hair as she sighed.
いえ、そんな全然。
I had tried to act strong, but that just served to emphasize how much the information had unsettled me. After seeing how I looked, Tomitake-san appeared to regret saying anything. Letting out a sigh, he then spoke, forcing an awkward, upbeat demeanor.
まさか圭一君、たたりなんて信じてるわけじゃないだろう。
そりゃまあ。
全ての事件が原因不明で犯人も手口も謎っていうなら僕もたたりを疑ってもいいよ。 だけど実際には違う。どの事件もちゃんと警察が捜査して真相や犯人を究明してる。
Hearing him say police made me feel a lot better. It was perfect for repelling the word curse.
例えば一番最初のバラバラ殺人言ったよね。犯人は一人を残して全員逮捕されてる。残った一人だって時間の問題さ。動機だって酒の上での口論からと判明してる。たたりなんかじゃないだろ。
That's no. Nope. That's true. If it didn't happen on the day of the Watanagashi, then I wouldn't think it was related to the curse at all.
次の誘致派の夫婦の事故死だってそうさ。恨みを買う立場だったからね。警察が特に入念に捜査したと思うよ。それで発表は事故。他殺じゃない。
でもまた綿流しの日に起きたんですよね。
考えてもみなよ、圭一君。ひなみ沢に敵が多かった彼が地元のお祭りにおちおち参加できると思うかい？彼にとっては綿流しの時期は特にひなみ沢に居づらい時期に違いないよ。
The annoying thing is that he brings up a good point, which only just complicates matters. Very smart direction, the writing here, to purposely confuse you.
だからわざわざこの時期に旅行をし、意図的にひなみ沢を離れようとしたんじゃないかな。
It wasn't a very clear explanation, but I sort of understood what Onikakushi was getting at. So I pressed on earnestly, asking more questions so that I could convince myself.
じゃあ富武さん、その次に死んだ神主さんはどうです？原因不明の奇病だって。それもまたしても綿流しの日に。
神主さんはもっと説明がつきやすいよ。綿流しのお祭りは神主さんにとっては年に一度の大行事。過労あるいはもともと持病持ちだったのかもしれない。
でも奇病ですよ。
But it was an unknown illness. Oh, oops, my bad.
でもこの医学の進歩した時代に原因不明なんて。
I mean, anything can happen, man.
大ひれだよ。噂が噂を呼んだだけさ。2年立て続けに事件が起これば誰だって過敏になるよ。急死は確かに不自然だったかもしれないけど、こういう死に方をすると必ず警察が検視をする。で、事件性は発見されなかったんだろう。
I mean, people have died in strange ways before too. There's been people who wash up on shore and they have no identification. Everything that you could use to identify them just gone. The only video recording of them is them checking into a hotel or something. You'll know what I'm talking about if you've heard about that case in particular. But strange shit can happen. The world's a strange place. Truth really is stranger than fiction.
本当に偶然の病死なんだよ。
Excuse me.
確か神主の奥さんが自殺してますよね。じゃあこれは？
すでに説明した通りさ。3年目の事件に村人たちは動揺していた。信心深い人たちはすぐにたたりだと決めてかかったのさ。もちろん神主の奥さんもね。自殺の際に死んでお社様の怒りを押し詰めするみたいな遺書が見つかったらしいし。
じゃあ次の主婦の事件はまたしても綿流しの日に。
この事件は犯人も逮捕されて解決してるよ。一種の異常者でひなみ沢のたたり騒ぎを面白がって再現したと自供した。
じゃあ次の年の事件は
Oh yeah, this year is the next year. Tomitaka-san gave a hearty laugh.
もう何も起こらないよ。今度こそね。
I'm sure it won't.
お社様のたたりなんてもともとない。一連の偶然をあると信じている人たちがそうだと吹聴しているだけさ。
My internal computer finally got itself back on track. I felt a bit embarrassed by how childish I'd become after losing control and panicking.
僕は圭一君がひなみ沢をとても好きだと思ってることをよく知ってるよ。仮にお社様のたたりが実在したとしても、そんな圭一君にたたりがあるなんて とても思えないね。
I felt very relieved. I should probably just forget everything I heard tonight. I'll greet Reina and Mion tomorrow with the same smile as always. They'd probably also like tonight to end without incident, so that they can continue on tomorrow without having worried me. Perhaps seeing my change in attitude, the woman who had been listening in stretched as she got up from the rock she was sitting on.
さてと、そろそろ私は戻らないとね。
おっと、僕も少々長くおしゃべりしすぎたかな。
No shit. There are so few people compared to the crowd from before. I can only make out a few groups of families enjoying the cool evening air. I looked at my watch. It seems as we have talked for the better part of an hour. It's because we have, KG.
圭一君もお友達と一緒に来たんでしょ？みんなを探したら？
そうだった。みんな俺のことを探してるかもしれない。
女の子に探させるなんてなかなかの罪人だね。
じゃあね、おやすみなさい、圭一君。二郎さんもね。また後ほど。
Tomitaka-san seemed to be quite the scoundrel himself, so his name is Jiro. After dusting off her backside, she disappeared into the crowd of people still busy cleaning up the shrine grounds. In her place, Reina came running over. I could see all the others behind her. Speak of the devil.
悪い悪い、ケイちゃん。すっかり話し込んじゃっててさ。
I'd completely forgotten about them while caught up in my own conversation, so we were even.
あら、富武さんもご一緒でございましたの。ちょうどよかったですわ。今日の射的の結果発表がありますです。
ああ、そうだったね。結局ビリは僕なのかな。
In the end, after my dramatic victory, Ruka-chan was the last challenger, but there weren't many targets left. The ones remaining were all tiny and difficult to hit. She did take her time and aim, but all three shots completely missed. She was to end up sharing the loser's crown with Tomitaka-san. However, she did her little meeping cry in front of the owner, and he turned to mush instantly. She was given a pack of gum as a consolation prize. Her methods were a bit audacious, but she did avoid being the loser rather magnificently.
思うにリカちゃんって結構タヌキだろ。
圭一の言ってる意味がわかりませんです。
Alright, Rika.
なわけで、ビリは富武さんに決まり。
Everyone cheered and applauded. Tomitaka-san smiled really, slightly bewildered.
じゃあ富武さん、覚悟はいいかな？罰ゲーム。
え？あ、忘れてた。
You're too naive, Tomitaka-san. This is why you got to avoid losing in our club. Mion pulled a felt tip marker from her pocket. Oh, it's that.
ミオン、武士の情けだ。せめて水星にしてやれ。優勢は辛い。
Yeah.
優勢じゃないとダメだよ。お洗濯したら落ちちゃうじゃない。
なんだいお手柔らかに頼むよ。
All of us pinned his arms behind his back, and Mion approached him with a marker in one hand.
キュッキュッキュッ。
Uh-oh. But she didn't write on Tomitaka-san's face. She wrote on the shirt he was wearing. Oh, that's not that bad. You'd better have your big break this year. Mion. Reina took up the marker next. Show me your photos next time, okay? Reina. It was a little heartwarming, and I just had to laugh.
これじゃあ罰ゲームってより寄せ書きじゃないか。
私は甘くはありませんのよ。ちゃんと罰ゲームでいきますわ。
Haha, dead last, Satoko. Try harder next time, Rika.
ケイチさんもどうぞでございます。
I couldn't decide on what to write, but based on what kind of penalty this is probably the most appropriate. Come back and play again, Keiichi. Tomitaka-san was silent the entire time. At first he was quite bewildered, but now he had a different look on his face.
これを着たまま帰郷するのも罰ゲームのうちに入るのかな。
もちろんちゃんと着たまま家に帰ってね。
次に来る時にも着てきてくれるといいな。いいな。
He appeared deeply moved. Embarrassment mixed with a wealth of other emotions made him turn a bright red.
わかった。次に来る時もこれを着てくるよ。約束する。
Everyone cheered and applauded. It was the finest parting gift possible for a buddy heading out tonight. I saw the woman who was with Tomitaka-san standing near the festival grounds. It seemed Tomitaka-san noticed her too, and knew it was time to leave.
お連れ様がお待ちみたいじゃん。そろそろお時間かな。
そうみたいだね。
Tomitaka-san headed off towards her and seemed to apologize for making her wait. We all shouted stuff at Tomitaka-san. Each time we did, he looked back and waved his hand. Eventually, he faded into the darkness of the night. Out of sight, out of mind. It was quite the casual farewell. This wasn't the first time any of us had seen someone off. They had done the same thing many times before.
行っちゃったね。
じゃあうちらも引き上げるかね。
Rika-chan had to stay behind with the other committee members since we were having a meeting. Satoko was tagging along with her. I headed back home with the usual suspects. The walk back was quite lively with talk of the day's war stories. Holy shit. This is fucking long. I mean, I know it was the Watanagashi, but fuck me, it's long. Should have done this, should have done that kind of stuff. Ran and I parted ways with Mion, and then it was just the two of us. Then we got to my house, and I parted ways with Reina as well.
こんな時間だけど一人で大丈夫か？
全然平気だよ。近いし、走っていくし。
変な奴がいたら大声出せよ。
出したら、助けに来てくれるのかな？
聞こえたらな。
聞こえるくらい大きな声を出すね。
Merrily spinning her arms around at high speed, Reina dashed off. She was fine. In that mode, not even an adult could stand against her. Reina's cheerful presence disappeared and finally became quiet again. The curse that not a soul had mentioned, not even under their breath. The more I learned about it tonight, the more unsettling it became. It didn't show on any of their faces, but they're probably all quite concerned about it as well. But if nothing happens tonight, then it all ends up being just crazy talk. Nothing will happen. Nothing bad. Nothing at all. Gotta take a screenshot for that.
どうしたのケイチ、そんなところで。中に入りなさい。風邪をひくわよ。
It was my mom.
母さんは行った？渡流しのお祭り。
結局お父さんが起きなかったからね。行きそびれちゃったわ。残念。
Mom stuck her tongue out with a bit of an embarrassed look on her face. Oh my... That's a lot of stuff. Jesus Christ. That was... I mean, you know, as I said, it's... The Watanagashi is the second most important part of the game. The first important part is you'll see soon. But and of course they have to introduce it. And I know I was a lot more talkative in this than I was in the other parts, but like, holy shit, that was long as fuck. Oi. But you know, it's not that I didn't enjoy it. It's just I don't know. I don't really know how I'm going to edit this. I don't know if I'll just like upload it as one big giant thing. Because I didn't really intend for any of. I didn't really like. I didn't intend to cut any of it off because I don't know. Like I didn't think it would go on this long. So, yeah. You'll see next time. You'll see once I upload the video what I end up doing. Or videos. Who knows. Anyway, my name's CranJam, and I'm happy that you stuck around this long, if you did. And, yeah, I'll see you next time.